Standing next to me is Amie Fretter, a presenter and the host of a podcast called If We Don't Laugh, We'll Cry. Thank you so much for joining me here at We Out Here. Can you tell me a little bit about that amazing project that you're involved in?
Course. So yeah, like you said, it's called If We Don't Laugh, We'll Cry. It's a grief podcast and it's entirely self-produced by myself. Me and my younger sister, Alicia, she's the other co-host. We have been doing it, I'd say we've been releasing episodes for about a year. But before that, it existed online as like just videos on TikTok first, which was an interesting way to kind of do it. We made the videos before the podcast. So that came out first just to kind of see if it was something people would relate to, and the kind of reaction and the feedback that we got from those videos meant that we turned it into a podcast rather than the other way around. We were kind of happy just doing it as little clips, like connecting with people, because that's the quickest way to connect with people online is through videos, and that's what I do in my job anyway. So tying it all together, yeah, posting them online, and then it was just clear that people needed it. And that also is really bittersweet because it's like, yeah, it got popular really quick, but that means a lot of people need it, which is also sad. So I'm happy it's doing well, but it also makes me sad how many people are like, I really need this, or like, thank you, there's nothing like this sort of thing. So yeah, definitely bittersweet.
But the experience and the topic around grief, what gap in the conversation in society do you think there was that made you want to speak up about it?
So the reason we started it was because every kind of grief resource that I'd found online when I was going through the start like grief journey, it was all very depressing. And obviously it is sad, but everything was very like clinical and all really cringy. And I was just like, I don't really resonate with either of these. And I think a lot of young people felt the same. And there's a lot of good, really good podcasts out now and like loads of people doing really good work. But when I was probably about 8 years ago, there wasn't anything really that I related to. And I also thought when a few of mine and my sister's conversations that we had, it's obviously everyone has this thing where like we should film this, but it actually would be helpful if we did, because we worked through a lot of our own grief together in conversation, just sat in the kitchen or sat in the park, and then we've literally just filmed it. No cutting things out, just pure authenticity. And I think that's what people like, because the whole point is to make people not feel like a freak when they're going through grief, because it really can make you feel really weird and isolated and like no one else is feeling the same. And everyone that experiences grief has probably felt the same. So I just wanted to show everyone that, really.
I mean, your audience is so engaged, the way they interact with the posts. It's something that people relate to. So when you had the experience and then moving from idea to then creating the actual project, how was that process?
So the process... So luckily, I already had all the equipment because that's what I do with my job, and I already know about platforms and things. So for me, it was the difficult part was wanting to put content out, but not always being in the best place to speak about grief. Like, you can't just turn on a camera and then delve into it. Like, it has to happen naturally. And I think that's where the friction came at the beginning, from us trying to find time to release episodes and stuff. And then I think seeing how engaged the audience are and seeing how much value they get from the content, I realized that it's like quality over quantity. And that was really important for us when creating content, because we don't want to just make loads of episodes when we're not our best self and we're not feeling ready to do it at the detriment to us, because obviously it's a hard topic. So we don't release things regularly. We go on breaks for months without posting things. And every single time, the audience has always waited for us and been there. And I just think it's amazing. I think we've found the best corner of the internet possible. They're literally amazing, everyone I've spoke to. Even here, like, I have had so many people come up to me about the podcast, and every time it makes me feel the exact same. It's like, it's mental. Because it's like, when we started, I was like, if I could just help one person with it, like one person could see it and be like, oh, that really helped me, or oh, I did that in my grief, I'm not a freak now. Like, any sort of resonance with it. And now there's so many of them, and it's just crazy. It's so good, and I'm really proud of us. And I'm proud for everyone for listening to it, because I didn't connect with anything to do with grief for years. wouldn't even talk about it. So for people to actually choose to put on a podcast about it, to learn about themselves, to better themselves, to help them through the journey, it's just amazing. Everyone's proud of themselves. It's great.
It is amazing. You should definitely be proud of yourself. But here you are, we are here also talking about things that aren't about grief as well.
Yeah.
And it's kind of launched your presenting career, you could say, in different directions.
Yeah.
So what kind of stuff were you talking about here, and how has that built your confidence to do more of these shows?
It's definitely built my confidence so much, because through the podcast we do a lot of different events. So we do I've done talks at festivals, which have been a crazy, and I've done radio segments. We went on Radio 1 with the podcast, which was crazy, and that actually led to me getting a spot on like a Christmas takeover. So the podcast has opened so many doors, and I've always wanted to do presenting. So for those doors to kind of be pushed open from something so authentic, it's great. I was here yesterday, was my show with Crop Radio, and I did it about, the theme was Out of the Shadows, so any groups that have kind of been misrepresented or bringing them into the light. And I chose to do it about music or genres or artists that have been born or created out of low-income backgrounds or experience financial hardship or poverty, because that's something I, again, relate to in my experience. And it was great. I loved it. It was so fun. It's amazing to be here. And I think it's always so much, like, it feels so much better when it's something that means a lot to you. And yeah, I'm just so grateful to be here with Crop, and thanks for having me. Yeah. It's great.
Okay, lastly, what are some tips that you would give to others wanting to start their own project?
Tips. Just do it. I think you can spend a lot of time being like, oh, it's not the right time. It's not the right time. I don't have the things lined up that I need to, or I'm too busy. But as soon as you get the ball rolling, like, it really just goes from there. And I think a lot of people are worried about posting online. And I just want to, like, do not be worried about posting online. The amount of shit that's on there, you should just post what you care about, and there will be people that will like it and resonate with it, and you shouldn't be embarrassed at all. If people don't like your content, they don't like your content. And that's what I keep telling myself, because I got embarrassed at the start. I was like, I thought that everyone that listened to my podcast would just be people from school being nosy. Like, genuinely, that's all I thought it would be. And it hasn't been that, and it's actually helping people. So I think just try to not worry about what other people think. And I keep telling myself, it's for the people who it's for will get it, and everyone else, it doesn't matter. So I think that's a good piece of advice for anyone starting. And yeah, just do it. Believe in yourself.
Great tips from Amie Fretter there. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you. So nice to be here.